I sat down and played as many Half-Life mods as I could possibly get my hands on to place them on a tier list to determine which one is objectively the best. These mods range from absolutely terrific to genuine, unplayable dookie. To review them, I will speak about the story, the gameplay, and anything else that I found amusing in these recordings that took me over 50 hours to complete. We will start out at F tier, then work our way up to S tier. Massive thank you to Martin Pants for inspiring me to make this video. Without any more yapping, let's go. The first mod we start off with is Arctic Adventures. You play as Gordon Freeman tasked with finding Judith Mossman in the Arctic in order to nab some stolen data. I played this mod for 20 minutes, and in that 20 minutes, it was a crashing, nightmarish piece of shit. For some ungodly reason, the devs decided to make the HEV suit realistic by making it seem like you're looking through the visor. The only thing that this accomplishes is it makes everything difficult to focus on, as everything outside the middle of your screen is blurry. And light can reflect onto your visor, making it even more difficult to see. Awesome. Soon after, I was immediately flung into a poorly lit Arctic base flooded with Combine that do way too much damage, and then seconds later had to deal with the jankiest snowmobile I ever had the misfortune to operate. Holy this is the fucking... What? I'm dead, because this thing is... The snowmobile is drifting on normal-ass snow. Look at this. Look at this. I got snipers up the ass, APCs, I got a helicopter still chasing me. F tier. Terrible. Never show your face to me ever again. Too many crates. You play as a man named Kenneth who is given the objective of committing mass genocide on crates. Now, I know what you're thinking. This mod sounds pretty creative, so why put it in F tier? Truth be told, this mod. I never thought in my life that I would go through a state of psychosis due to breaking a bunch of boxes. Are you kidding? The pure satisfaction of blowing up a bunch of boxes was a feeling I never thought I would have. The goal of this mod is to destroy 1,000 crates, and lucky for me I did. Totally without cheating, of course. F tier. Play this mod if you hate your sanity. The first mod of D tier is Resistance Element. You play as Gordon Freeman who was woken up from stasis by the G-Man and silently ordered to just kind of, I don't know, do shit. 1 minute after I woke up, I was unfortunate enough to be on the receiving end of a 2-man yap session that I completely and utterly ignored due to how much nothing they were saying. Then after that, got to work obliterating Combine and doing puzzles, killing some zombies and antlions, and just kind of running and gunning. To be perfectly honest, most of this mod is very forgettable, as everything you do is not engaging enough to be memorable. Really the only thing I remember from this mod is entering a rocket and launching myself into outer space. This wasn't a horrible mod, it just wasn't interesting enough. D tier. Logistic. You play as a soldier named Ivanov. Wait, then why did the subtitle say Adam when he talks? You play as Adam Ivanov, who begins hunting down the Combine who kidnapped his wife, Anna. The story of this mod, even after finishing it, made absolutely no sense to me. Like, why is this guy suddenly seeing visions of his wife? Why did the Combine use old world British weaponry? One problem I had with this mod is how it loves to just not show you where to go whatsoever. I was so confused on where to go and what to do at several points in this mod to the point where I actually started to rage like an angry caveman. There is no way this is the right way, by the way. What just... Another problem I had with this mod are these parkour sections. Holy sweet mother of God, never add parkour sections into a Half-Life mod ever again. This game is gonna make me commit some atrocities against humanity, man. It's gonna make me. I'm gonna do some shit. Are you fucking kidding? I went into this mod with high hopes and came out the other end severely disappointed. D tier. Genry's Great Escape from City 13. Or Henry? I don't know, I'm not Russian. Before I critique this mod, I just want to inform you all that on Steam it is marketed as, and I quote, not serious, and the mod does not pretend to be anything. Terrific start. You play as a man named Henry who begins escaping City 13. Considering that this is a mod not to be taken seriously made by a Russian dude, it is honestly not that bad. And it was fairly action-packed as well, as I shot a bunch of Combine and zombies before eventually shooting down a gunship and a Combine helicopter, and then that was the mod. So it's pretty short and sweet in that regard, and even though the developer doesn't take it seriously, I definitely do, and think it is pretty alright. D tier.
Back at it again at Krispy Kreme.
We've now swiftly moved on from the near unplayable mods to the somewhat decent mods that might actually be worthy of your time. The first mod of C tier is Downfall. You play as presumably Gordon Freeman, who just kinda shows up and wreaks havoc. A mod that feels like Half-Life 2 Episode 2 always has a very special place in my heart. Considering I beat this mod in less than 25 minutes and it was a lot of fun during that 25 minutes, it is a very enjoyable mod. However, due to the short time you spend here, it's not enough to escape C tier. This is honestly the easiest middle ground ranking mod, as it's short and sweet and engaging throughout. And also, might be cursed, as this Combine Sniper completely went rogue and threw my grenade out the window. Now that has to be illegal or something. Finally, the mod ends with this. What the fuck? C tier. Very enjoyable mod. Nightmare House 2. This mod is as old as time, and you can definitely feel it. You play as unnamed civilian number 398, who crashes their car into a tree and wake up at a Nightmare House 2. After escaping from the Nightmare House 2, you wake up in an insane asylum filled with fent addicts and begin to escape once again. Jolly Wayncore played this mod a few years ago, and from the video it is abundantly clear that this mod is not scary, and I wholeheartedly agree. Cheap jump scares, boring sections, and oh my god, the never-ending vents. 40% of this mod was just me crawling through vents. The story, the final boss fight, and the voice acting for the mod is the definite highlight and star of the show. However, everything outside of that is pretty mediocre. If the mod didn't take me an hour and a half to complete and instead could be beaten in 30 minutes, I would have placed it in B tier gladly, but since some sections feel like a slog to play through due to the length, C tier felt more appropriate. C tier. Before. You play as a man named Andrew Winter whose mission is to enter parallel world and retrieve another artifact. What's crazy about this one is that it legitimately took me 10 minutes to complete, but is a mod listed on Steam, not ModDB. You have to spend $100 US to list your game on Steam, so the fact that this mod only takes 10 minutes to beat and the devs spend $100 just to list it is like, what? All you essentially do is fight your way to the helm of the ship you are on, shooting Zen creatures along the way before having to make it back to the front of the ship and begin fighting Annihilanth. Then, the mod is over. Very short, but very awesome. C tier. Good mod. Year-long alarm. On Steam there is a review for this mod that it could have been a chapter from the main game, specifically episode 1, and I absolutely agree. You play as Gordon Freeman whom is chased into an abandoned mine by the Combine. That was cool, that rhymed. You must use anything and everything to defend yourself from whatever might be trying to send you to the pearly gates. In the 15 minutes I spent with this mod, it was a total blast from start to finish. The puzzles are clever, the combat is engaging, and the gunship boss fight at the end is the cherry on top. If this mod was a little longer, that would have been great, and I would have easily placed it into B tier. But alas, like most of these, it is relatively short, but regardless of the length, it is still very, very good. C tier.
Hey, you wouldn't have a quarter I could...
Starting off B tier, we have Snowdrop Escape. You play as a former Russian soldier named James Hugo, who is hired by an organization to infiltrate a secret rebel base. The story, the gunplay, the gameplay, the environment, the soundtrack. Oh my god, the soundtrack. All of these coexist in a way that is so seamless that it honestly baffles me that this mod is free. Initially, I wanted to place this mod in A tier, considering how long it took me to complete and to honor the sheer scale of this mod. However, B tier felt a lot more accurate. Now, I am no Charles McGill. However, I'm also not as dumb as a stump. I've beaten Portal 1 to 100% completion, so when I say this, I'm not saying it lightly. This mod has so many puzzles and they are so utterly mind-numbing that it completely hurts the pacing. I spent an entire hour trying to figure out how to open this gate. Oh my god, can this thing just fucking move? Only to realize that I somehow missed the snowmobile. Why was it even possible for me to even make it past this section without the snowmobile, considering it is integral to move on with the mod? Having the player stop and perform a puzzle maybe once or twice, I can let off with a pass, but it happened several times in this mod to the point I almost stopped playing. Even with the puzzles in mind though, this mod is absolutely terrific in every other regard, so I fully support you trying out this mod for yourself. B tier. What an awesome experience this was. Entropy 01. You play as a civil protection unit tasked with clearing out a rebel hideout. So you go ahead and commit some atrocities against your own kind, and then immediately following this, you and your squad end up in a train derailment, resulting in you becoming the sole survivor. For the rest of the mod, you are alone and must fight your way out of City 10, slaughtering zombies, even more rebels, and even some Vortigons. Already this mod is very unique, as in canon we've never seen what it is like to be the bad guy. There isn't really a story for this mod, you just kind of wreak havoc. It's really the gameplay of this mod that takes center stage more than anything else, and I'm all for it. Puzzles are pretty bare bones though, as it has never seen before find the battery puzzle, not once, but twice. And also whatever the hell this puzzle is. And this terrible section where you have to protect this stalker from unfortunately being sent to the pearly gates. You have to ensure this stalker makes it to this panel to open the door for you, and you have to suffer watching it travel as slowly as the physics engine will allow it to. Furthermore, the final boss fight with this Vortigon, kinda sucks dick. Oh my god, there's Are you... If this mod continued to be just slaughtering a bunch of rebels without a care in the world, it would have been a lot more enjoyable. B tier. Caged. You play as a generic scientist who was imprisoned for a classified violation and sentenced to scheduled termination. So you commit some terrorism and escape your prison cell. The rest of the mod you are fighting prison guards, crawling through vents, and generally being a very naughty boy. And then after fighting all of these guards and downing a helicopter, you escape onto a boat and then they nuke the place. I actually like this mod so much that when the ending showed me that I missed some secrets and could attain a bonus level, I gladly did it. But all it ended up being was just a 24 hours earlier and wasn't anything really significant. This mod has great level design, engaging combat, cool moments, and overall is a pretty awesome time. B tier. Estranged Act 1. You play as a fisherman on a boat, until you aren't. But yeah, you crash your boat, commit property damage, witness a murder, then commit some murder of your own. This is basically what it is like to be a UK citizen. The gameplay of this mod is honestly pretty boring, as all you do is walk for a little while, shoot maybe 4 or 5 zombies in the head, potentially do a puzzle, and the next thing you know, you're at the end credits. What I will applaud this mod for is the excellent audio design, visuals, and the general atmosphere. Walking around these areas reminds me heavily of my time spent playing Left 4 Dead, a game I definitely grew up on and I'm very fond of. I do also kind of like the story with the whole mystery and whatnot, but before it developed even further, the mod immediately ended and people had to wait 6 years for a sequel that isn't even developed in the source engine and isn't even related to this mod. Cool. B tier. Round of applause everyone for our first A tier mod on our lovely list, Amalgam. You play as Gordon Freeman, who was tasked by the G-Man to be a very naughty boy and sabotage Combine relays and destroy a goddamn nuclear reactor. Because we are totally the good guys here. This mod perfectly nails the strange feeling I get whenever I play a source engine game that I honestly really only get from playing Half-Life 2. Driving the muscle car and making it to the lighthouse section is 100% the highlight of this mod, and the general atmosphere of this whole area no joke gave me chills several times. Oh, that's goosebumps. Right. That's goosebumps. All across my body. The level design is phenomenal. The action and shooting galleries are fantastic. Sections are unique, clever, and overall, this is a terrific mod that I highly recommend you play for yourself to see what I am talking about. A tier. Mention this mod at my funeral. Cry of Fear. I don't think there is anyone in the Half-Life community who hasn't heard about this mod, and for good reason, this mod is very great. However, the backtracking. Oh my god, the backtracking. The amount of backtracking that is necessary to move the plot forward is so tedious that I actually wanted to just stop playing the mod on numerous occasions. How much of the game am I backtracking? Am I even backtracking the right way right now? Someone has dropped. Someone has blocked pass, but drawn another one? Wait, so then what do I do? Because this door won't open. How do I get back then? Because so you're telling me I just went all the way over here for no reason. Why would you let me go this way? Why would you waste my time? That being said, I am glad that I was forced to do it. The story of Cry of Fear is without a doubt the most realistic and gut-wrenching story I ever had to endure in a video game. You play as a man named Simon, a man with severe mental problems who is forced to come to terms with being paralyzed in a car accident. A doctor tells Simon to write his thoughts down into a book, and for the entirety of the mod, you play as a fictional Simon who the real Simon is writing about. You randomly wake up in an alley and basically begin fighting for your life against horrific twitchy monsters that have seemingly taken over the city. The gameplay of the mod kind of takes a backseat to the real MVP clutch god that is the story, but helps put into perspective Simon's mental state as everything you do can be tied into Simon's life and overall problems. You essentially go through hell for a solid 4.5 hours, fighting flying creatures, running from a dude with a chainsaw screaming at you, destroying boss fights, performing not gonna lie innovative puzzles for a Half-Life 1 mod, and most importantly of all, petting a dead cat.
Hello, kitty.
The ending I got, which is the good ending by the way, is the fictional Simon manifesting into the real world to attack the paralyzed Simon. So you pummel him with about 18,000 bullets, metaphorically putting the book to rest by killing the fake Simon. This results in Simon accidentally killing 2 police officers after their fight, and leads to Simon being locked up in an insane asylum for the rest of his life. He comes to terms with this paralysis, his life, and writes a good ending for himself in his book. This mod is very bold for tackling such depressive themes, and I can honestly say that I did enjoy my time with Cry of Fear, despite its terrible gunplay, janky mechanics, and the never-ending backtracking. Yeah, A tier. Mission Improbable. You play as Gordon Freeman tasked with reactivating an old rebel listening post. Before I say anything further, this mod. Holy shit, this mod. Just look at this. Look at how beautiful this mod is. I don't think I went 5 seconds without complimenting how fucking awesome this mod truly looks. The developers who made this must have given the source engine code crack or something to make it look this good. I thoroughly enjoyed every minute I played this mod, as every moment was action-packed, always had something interesting happening, and was just overall a complete pleasure to play through. I can't really say anything about the gunplay or the gameplay, as it can't really be any different than base Half-Life 2, but it's serviceable, so I'm not one to complain about it being basic. There also really isn't a story. You reactivate the old listening post, murder a bunch of Combine, then help my boy Dr. Magnus here by wreaking havoc at a Combine train depot so that he and his rebel squad can make a quick getaway. So you do indeed wreak a ton of havoc, and before you are gunned down by a Combine helicopter, Dr. Magnus swoops in out of nowhere and smokes that scrub. Easy. A tier. And for our last entry in A tier, we have Research and Development. Research and Development is a mod about you being a rebel scientist whose research base is raided by a Combine patrol and you are left as the only survivor. Wait, never mind, there's another guy right Welp, never mind. You must use your wits, your intelligence, the years of watching Rick and Morty must pay off. Considering that this is a mod that takes place in a rebel research station, it is obviously filled to the brim with puzzles, and even more puzzles. However, I kept reiterating to myself that I beat Snowdrop Escape, a mod that if you remember every 5 seconds had a puzzle you had to complete, so this mod was total baby food. What I really like about this mod is that you never actually pick up a firearm and shoot it, as you're a scientist. We're scrawny, we don't know how to operate weaponry. The only weapon you do carry is the gravity gun, but you must activate it by doing a bunch of puzzles, and this is pretty far into the mod. You die basically in a few shots, zombies can kill you in a few swipes, but my god, is it incredibly satisfying to come out on top in most situations. The final part of this mod is that you destroy a bunch of Combine gunships and helicopters, then build the most fierce vehicle to ever grace the planet, Mr. Whirly. Using Mr. Whirly, you take down zombies, incapacitate and trap antlion guards, and even take down a Strider. After all is said and done, you and Mr. Whirly ride off into the sunset, never to be seen again. A tier. Goated mod.
One hot and ready pizza, $5.
Well everyone, we have finally made it. S tier. The mods that I consider to be truly the best of the best. For our first S tier mod, we have Swelter. This mod feels pretty familiar though. Let's quickly search it up and see who developed this mod, and oh dear god, not again. I'm just kidding. Thankfully you don't have to stop every 5 seconds to complete a puzzle. In fact, there are barely any puzzles within this mod. You play as a resistance freedom fighter in Central Asia, fighting Combine tasked with meeting up with this guy named Roki and make amends. Whatever that means. So you dive out of a train and hit your head on a pole going 50 miles per hour. You start out fighting Combine in the city, then soon transition to fighting Combine and antlions in a vast desert inside your 2024 Ford Bronco SUV. You finally make it to Roki, defend his base against a Combine helicopter with a grenade launcher with this sick-ass Half-Life 2 song remix, then help him infiltrate a Combine base to do... I don't actually remember. Anyways, you kill people, destroy some shit, then after the mission accomplished, you black out from brain trauma due to hitting the pole a few hours ago. Then you wake up and fight Combine drones in a goddamn AC-130 and dive out of the plane with Roki, faking your own deaths to avoid the Combine hunting us down forever. However, before diving out, Roki discovers that you are potentially a traitor sent to assassinate him. During your blackout, the mod shows us that we were actually sent to kill Roki to turn him into a martyr so that his people will back up the resistance in the city, therefore starting a domino effect that will lead to the citadel being destroyed. The mod actually gives you a choice in this moment, either to kill Roki to fuel the events of Half-Life 2 or to spare him, allowing us, him, and his people to escape into the Eurasian steppe. I think me summing up the story and showing you all these clips pretty much paints the picture on how goddamn sick this mod truly is. Great story, great gunplay, great soundtrack, great mod, S tier. This is basically what it is like to live in Kazakhstan. Echoes. You play as Candidate 12, a scientist employed at Black Mesa. You do your normal morning commute and then all of a sudden, Black Mesa is bombarded by a bunch of Fent enjoyers looking to rob you to acquire more Fent. Being caught in this minor inconvenience, you fight your way through Black Mesa, destroying any human or creature that dares to stand in your way. You fight fish. Oh, there's two of them! Ah! 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 This is... Stop! 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 Stop it! Stop it! Please just die! Die! Please, God! Just... Please die! Please! 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 Oh my... Oh my God! That was actual panic. That was genuine panic. I am not kidding. Where are you? Where are you? You fight zombies, you fight the military, you even fight a goddamn tank and this big boy. Right before you are carpet bombed, this strange entity gives you visions of the Borealis, Half-Life 3, and teleports you to the Black Mesa staff dorm rooms. You then witness the G-Man rescuing who is presumed to be Alex Vance, right before he abandons you and Black Mesa is nuked, leaving you for dead. The G-Man then closes your file due to your influence from whatever the hell this entity is. This mod tries super hard to be a part of the Half-Life canon, and I wholeheartedly support this idea. This mod is littered with clever puzzles, awesome and interesting world building, great mechanics, fire level design, and was a complete blast to play through. I know I said it before, but holy shit, I fully advocate for you to play this mod to experience true cinema. S tier. Ladies and gentlemen, we have finally arrived at the last mod I will be covering today. It has been a very bumpy ride, but one that was definitely enjoyable. But what is the mod that is factually the best one to play out there? This mod is Entropy 02. Holy hell, this mod is just plain fantastic. You continue the story of Aiden Walker, known as 3650, the civil protection you played as in the first mod. Aiden Walker has a very troubling past, with him suffering through the loss of his daughter going missing, then being blamed for it, resulting in him being put in a mental institution. After defeating the final boss in Entropy 01, the Combine found you in City 10, raided your brain to use as a master template for their soldiers, and then woke you up from stasis so that you can begin kicking some more rebel ass. You are dropped down into the Arctic, tasked with finding Judith Mossman and recovering the project that the Resistance is so keen on acquiring. Along the way, you are dropped down into the Aperture Science facilities by seemingly your clone, and you find the GOAT, Wilson. Taking Wilson along for the ride, you and him slaughter tons of zombies infected with this blue goo and escape into the surface. Eventually, you catch up to Judith Mossman after running from you for so long. Soon enough though, your clone is right on your tails, but he is too late. You give Judith to the Combine, and they give you a new objective: kill your clone. You track your clone further and further down into the Aperture compound, where you begin getting teleported into a ship. This ship being the Borealis. You and your clone duke it out in a very climactic battle where obviously you come out on top, but this tragically results in you unintentionally blowing up Wilson, who goes offline due to his injuries. Soon after, you find your clone defeated, and you are given a choice to kill him or spare him. I chose to spare him, but the Combine advisor giving us orders appears, killing our clone once and for all. The advisor then informs us that we will be the master template. However, this reward will remove our memories, basically turning us into an expendable bag of flesh. Naturally, I resisted, blew the fucker away with 9,000 buckshot, kicked his stupid looking body off the edge, and ran into the Borealis, where none other than Wilson came back online after we placed him into the Aperture mainframe. And then we sprint into the Borealis and come face to face with the G-Man. The G-Man then offers us an actual reward, and allows us to destroy our cloned brain so that no other Aiden Walker can exist but us. We are then abandoned by the G-Man, and left to deal with the consequences of betraying the Combine. Before the Combine can continue torturing us, our GOAT, Wilson, shows up again, helps us escape, gives us a gun, and the credits roll, leaving me in total astonishment that what I played was free. Now this mod. Holy shit, this mod. The story of Aiden Walker is a very influential one. This mod is indeed a story about you being the bad guy. But are you truly a bad guy if society outcasted you, medicated you, and treated you less than human? This story is one about a broken man, trying to live through life as harshly as he can in a post-apocalyptic world. For Aiden to truly hide his pain, he becomes an essential soldier for the Combine, murdering rebels and committing terrible atrocities whilst cracking jokes. However, during your adventures in the Arctic with Wilson, you slowly regain that lost humanity that Aiden believes he never had anyways, finally tearing the manipulative grip the Combine held over you and finally coming to terms with your past life and your present life, whilst making a great friend along the way. What an absolutely fucking exquisite mod this truly is. So, that was definitely something. I initially planned on releasing this video 2 weeks after my last one, but I severely underestimated how long I was going to spend recording and writing the script. Writing the script especially, it took me longer to do than recording all of these mods. I'd just like to thank you all for the tremendous support on this channel, and an even bigger thanks for making it to the end of this video. By the time this video is uploaded, I'm most likely a zombie because of the numerous meds I'm going to be on due to me getting surgery. But hey, that's life. And this was the official Half-Life mods tier list, because this list is an objective fact that cannot be argued with. Have a good one, everybody.